Hey guys, hope everyone is doing well. Today we have the Runic Tarot from my favorite publishing group, Los Garabio. I've been waiting for this one for a while, so I'm super excited to finally have it, and it's no disappointment. Now, I've had this deck for a good 3 days. I still haven't properly used it, so I won't be saying as much as I normally do in my reviews or when we take a look at the cards. So I'm just gonna let you guys see what you get and do whatever I can. So for anyone not knowing, this is from the same creators of Heaven and Earth. Love that deck, still do. It's a very, very powerful deck. This time around, however, we have the addition of Alan Dimster, joining both Jack and Jamie from the Heaven and Earth. So you've got a new collab of the guys to bring you this beautiful deck kit. So you've got two versions. What I've got here, what we're going to be looking at is the Toro kit version. The other one is not the kit version, where it's kind of like it will be a smaller box, smaller booklet. I've also, as you can see here, I've got the pouch. We're going to take a close look at the pouch. This is what it looks like. It reflects exactly what you will have in front of the box. The theme, it's beautiful, sort of like velvet, um a silk sort of finish at the back, highlighted in green, and it's quite fairly similar to the Heaven and Earth um a pouch, exactly the same quality. So if you have that one, you'll pretty much be used to it. You can see in there it's kind of again, nice wide, plenty of room in there. And in terms of what you can fit in there, so I'm just going to demonstrate to you guys if anyone is wondering. I've got the Tower of Opposition, which is quite fairly big, and you could see that fits nice and comfortably. So you could still have the full box and the pouch there if you like, just for demonstration purposes, or you could take it out. It's really up to you, and you could see it close nice and easy, quite fairly comfortable. A standard Oracle deck in its box. Again, you could see here that fits nicely, and there is plenty of room. However, there isn't enough room to fit two standard Oracle size boxes. You could see there didn't quite fit, but with one it closed nice and easy, and you could see there in the pouch you get plenty of room. Now if you do have a small Toro and the Oracle, that will fit perfectly. So if you wanted to carry two with you, that actually works. And there's still, there's enough room. It's not very tight in there. And again, it nicely closed as well. So that kind of like works out. So if you wanted to, the book that you get, the guidebook, that fits perfectly well, as you could see in there. And also your cards will also fit perfectly well as well. And you could see there by the side, there's still a little bit more room. The only problem is because of the height of the book, it's not going to close properly. But still, it closes to the point where the cards are protected. Like here, I've got it on the Heaven and Earth, where I've got the cards inside of the pouch. And you could see at the back, the book stuck in the full space. The book of the Heaven and Earth was much more taller, but you could see in there, the card fits nicely in there, and it's not that hard to pull the card out. So for anyone who wanted to know. So now let's have a look at our box. This is what the box looks like. You can see the overall design, quite fairly nice. I don't know if it's just my copy box or if it's kind of early, but my one seems to have, I don't know, it looks rusted and used. Maybe it's the kind of effect that it has to it. And I'll show you when we look closely inside. The box is magnetic as well, which we'll have a look. This is what it looks like at the back. By all means, please do pause the video to have a read for yourself. So, like I said, it's got a magnetic latch by the side when you open it. Very, very nice. You got a massive booklet, which is the reason of this kit. You could see the magnetic there. And then what's nice as well, you have runes, alphabet, or inside of the box here, highlighted for like a quick reference as well if needed. There's also the same, you'll find the same inside of the book as well. Again, it looked kind of rusted. I don't know if that's part of the effect, as though I've discovered a box, or I've digged the box up, and you've discovered some ancient tools. So yeah, I'm not quite sure on that one. And you could see here with the book, you've got enough space there, so that way it makes it easy for you to take the book out. It's a good size guidebook. It's in color as well, which is awesome to see. We will cover that near the end of the video. And again, you could have, you seem to have that, I don't know, that effect, the rust effect to it. So we've got the cards themselves. You got a nice little thread there to kind of pull your cards out. You can see it's still in its package. And as usual, you normally get two free cards, one to follow the publishing group on their social media site, Facebook or Instagram, and then you get another card that's based on the theme of the deck that you have. The cards themselves, they do come plain edge, which is unfortunate, but great for those who likes to customize their own deck. So that works for me, which I'm going to do. The cards itself feels very slippery in the hands, but they still feel comfortable to hold and maneuver and move around. In terms of how thin the cards are, I think they're pretty good, and I'm gonna compare it to some of the decks that other cards that I have. Like for example, if we measure it up against one of the thinnest cards that I have, which is the Art Nouveau, it's not that thin. And then if you measure it up against the Radiant Wise, it's almost identical to that. So just to kind of like help you guys give you a reference as to how thin the card is, it's much better than the Heaven and Earth, in my personal opinion. So to me, that adds to the durability of the overall stock quality, which I think is fairly good. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. A lot better than Heaven and Earth if you do have that deck. So overall stock quality, I think it's absolutely brilliant. In terms of the size of the cards themselves, you can see here it's about your standard Toro size versus an Oracle, of course, is a lot bigger. And if we look closely at the back of the cards, you have this sort of like lovely Nordic design. You've got the bordered across. Looks very nice, very simple. You've got the various different symbols right there in the middle. So that's what the back of the card will look like. I think it matches the overall theme. A closer look, you could gain an idea as to how glossy it is, and you will do get reflection. So I'll show you guys. This is the level of reflection. I don't think it's really that bad. So in terms of what the cards look like in front, so you'll notice here this is only for the major arcanas. Numberings, Romanic will be on top of the cards, and this is only for the major arcanas. And then underneath you will have sort of like the name of each of those cards being highlighted underneath. And again, they've kind of followed a similar sort of pattern and design. So we're going to jump straight into it. I'm going to show you guys the major arcana. So it absolutely looks, glorious. The artwork again from Jamie is fantastic, phenomenal, very, very, very powerful deck. And you could see here the entire image, the artistry work takes pretty much majority of the cards. There are borderless cards, numbering is on top, and runes, you can find specific key runes. We've got card Fool here, 0, 1, and 2, Magician, and High Priestess. So here is our Fool card. And our full card, we have the god Freya walking through a field with a sword on his shoulder. By his side is supposed to be his golden boar. Rune meaning is harvest, joy, natural things. Our magician, we have Heimdall, the garden god, as guardian, I believe. You have a red rune, which is known to link the lineage of ancestry for those who have shaped you. Our high priestess. I really like the way it's done. You have the prophecy woman, part of Viking cultures, where normally you have spell casting going on. You have the two cauldron in the wooden area, in a kind of like a wooden area with as opposed to the pillars. The Empress here is our next card. We've got our Emperor and our Hierophant. The Empress is the goddess Frigg. You have a rune center of the wheel, just there by the side indication there. Um, the card is an indication of birth, cycle of life, and creativity. It's all connected to the Mother archetype, as expected with the Empress. Our Emperor is Thor sitting on his throne. Looks like on top of a mountain with lightning flashing all around him. The card again, it's about physical power, demonstrating of your capabilities. Our Hierophant is the god of justice and reconciliation here, making him a powerful force as illustrated. So it's, the person to resolve issues between Vikings and tribes. We've got our lovers, and then we've got our chariot. The lovers, usually in Toro, is about choice between two persons. At times, here it's more about the exploring and connection between paths or one state to another. About understanding the complexity of a situation. So, it adds that supported layer on top of what normally the Tarot perspective is. The goddess Freya in here, Chariot, looks awesome with cats pulling it, one black and white with the rune in the center. It's all about transformation to help cleanse the way of the old and bringing in the new. Oh my god, I love the strength card here and the hermit as well. The strength card here, you've got the goddess, bows her head down to a white bear, dressed in light armor. What I love about this card is how it shows the strength, that the strength is about understanding and learning versus external power, and you could see that between the connection between the two of them taking place. The rune being on the bear, it's about courage, harnessing of inner strength and preservance. The hermit looks pretty amazing with all that rooted parts, the darkness with the face peering out. It has the rune Isa glowing center of his face. It's pretty much about, think about what you might say before you regret what comes out of your mouth. It's basically telling you to that it takes time to process information and formulate a wise and also honest answer. We've got our Wheel of Fortune, three women, the Norns. Basically, the woman in the left represent the past, the one on the right was the future, and the one in the middle represent the present. It's all about fates and the cycle. We've got Justice, Hangman, and Death. Justice card here is about doing the right thing. Every culture has its merit on what is right and wrong, and here it's about what is accurate between you and society. And the honest God here illustrated is here, known as the best representative of justice. And by the side here, you've got the son of Loki, the wolf. Basically, seek justice and let your morals pretty much guide you. We've got a hangman, and I don't know if you noticed right there, you had a signature there of one of the author Jack. So in some instances, you will have a few of the images where you will have the signature of the authors that you tend to see. We've got the death card here, which is kind of like the main theme in front of the box, and the book itself looks absolutely looks very good. Basically, what we have is Odin at the gate of Valhalla, the light at the back showing the promised land itself, death being the ultimate transition. The rune here is Azuz, meaning the transition, divine forces are at work, a higher power, Odin there himself. We also have walls of bones and skeleton around of by the side here you could see as the aftermath. We have beautiful temperance, the art of moderation and blending of two forces to create a third. We have the goddess Sif with her legendary long hair, devil card. Wow, that looks pretty amazing. We've got Loki, the trickster god himself, hovering on top, watching the situation below unfold, knowing exactly what he's done, his trickery, just playing around. There's multiple meanings. In short, have a little bit of fun and, give into your desires. It's the way you learn to discover the consequences of what is good and bad. The tower looks amazing. Wow, stunning. Best looking tower card I've seen. The details is really truly amazing in here. You've got the dragon awaken, his fire scorching everything in sight. No escaping here. And then below you've got the ash of the things sort of burnt out by his ferocious power here. Basically, I can't think of a better way to show how strongly that one belief structure no longer works, and to move on and abandon and start new. The star card here in Toro, it's about hope and good fortune. Here, it's more about good omen and timing. You've got four fighting the serpent there, nemesis of the two clashes taking place. The moon card is stunning as well here. Great way of showing inner conflicts of the moon, secrets of illumination by lights around, not fully bright, but bits of it. You've got the wolf there chasing the moon god. Um, yeah, quite a lot going on in that one. We've got our last three cards, the Sun, Judgment, and the World. The Sun has it's got a real radiant woman who's known as the goddess, the goddess Soul, I believe. She's got a wide smile, burning fire eyes, and the two stallions there. Pure radiancy of what the sun is. Basically, the card here is we're looking at how it feels to basically enjoy one's victory. been victorious. The Judgment card here, we've got the Valkyries. One here, she has her hand sticking out, so she's drawing the souls out of the fallen that they would have selected the fates of. Get, live, die, follow your destiny, and all of that. And last card, the World card, is very interesting. Different storm of creation in this void. What we're seeing is the body of Ymir, part humanoid and part earth, going back to its origins, completion. So yeah, that's our major arcanas. Very, very beautiful cards. So we're gonna go through our suits. um, Not going to really go too much in details again, so just kind of give you the keywords of each of these cards. And just for quick reference note, on top here you can see it's the horns, and it explained to you the booklet with horns. The horns were the cups. They will have numbers on top, but not really any written naming of the cards. You will only find that in our suits here, the king, queens, page, and the knight, where you won't have the number, but yet you'll have sort of like written underneath what card it is, and that will be for every single um, suits and the court cards. You can see here number, no naming, but yet it has the number indicated there on top. So again, kind of link with the Toro system. We've got our ace, which is the major horn coming out of the lake here. We've got our 2 and our 3. So keywords here: new emotional connection, filling up your cup, trust your intuition. um, the reversal is kind of like feeling overwhelmed or emotional limitation put in place. The keywords here for the 2 of Horns is a fantastic relationship, capacity to grow, emotional completion. The reversal is kind of like breaking apart, empty promises. Are 3 of Horns. It's your typical Taurus sort of like meaning of celebration, community, and getting together. We've got our 4, 5, and 6 of Horns and Caps. So our 4 of Horns here, keyword is commitment, contemplation, taking a break, as you can see, evaluating your situation. The reversal will be to find something new, stretch and get moving, new inspiration. So yeah, that's quite slightly different. The the 5 here, that looks amazing. Look at all of these little details. We've got people or souls coming out of the horns there. That looks pretty amazing. Again, then you've got the signature of the author there. The 5. So the keywords here is a deep yearning, helplessness, as we can clearly see, depression and grief from the past. Its reversal, of course, is the opposite, with recovery, renewal. Like look at the bright side of the situation. We've got our 6. The key words here of the 6 of Horns is seek comfort, understand the past, reunion, childlike wonder. The reversal of that is too much reality, growing old, focus on time. So again, that nostalgia, same sort of like um same of what you would have in the Toro. We've got our 7 there. 7 again, similar, counted blessing, sound decision, getting rid of all the illusions around. Its reversal will be, one living beyond one's means, or to lose touch with reality. We've got our 8, 9, and our 10 of Horns. I'm struggling to get used to not saying sort of cups. But here on what is this? Yeah, we've got our 8, which is the dragon there. And again, kind of like similar. The upright is to seek the higher ground, separate yourself, what's going on. Take a journey, take a break. You've got a 9 there. The celebration, the keywords of that one is, you've done well, enjoying the moment, having a great time. And in the 10, it follows even further, enjoying the fruits of everyone's labor, family companion, expressing one's gratitude. So the typical meanings that you will have on a regular sort of Toro is pretty much followed through here. We've got our court cards, our Page of Cups, Knight of Cups here. The page keyword upright is, getting inspired, acknowledging one's dreams. You could see that by the phrase expression. Look out for the, outside solution box, and indulge in some fantasy. Reversal again is the resistance to the emotion, exaggeration, or being too sensitive. Our knight upright is, to be open to one's feelings, understand others' needs, fight for your ideals. And the reversal will be um, unrequited love or overwhelming emotions and losing control of that. And here we've got our kings and queens, and you could see here the queen will have one dolphin, the king tends to have two dolphins. You've got each underneath runes associated for each of them. Our queen, deep emotional and powerful. Our king, strong ruler, very optimistic, and he looks very emotionally stable. So those are our cups, known as the horns. Now, next we have our pentacles. Yes, so we've got our pentacles, which is known as the shield. So I'm not going to go into too much details. Again, I'm just going to give you the upright meaning and the reversal of each of the cards. So for our shields here, which is the pentacles, the upright meaning of the ace of the shield is to plant your wealth, new circumstances appearing maybe in your life, feeling supported. The reversal will be the opposite, dried up resources or waiting for a better opportunity to come through. With the two of shields, its upright meaning here is what you're basically seeing. They're taking a break, handling your energy level, finding a path, equilibrium. The reversal is, there's too much task going on or being too rigid of the situation. The Three of Pentacles, again, you could see the craftsmanship here going on. Its upright meaning is focusing on details or your contribution matters, to know that, to not be so critical of yourself, and to also not operate alone, as being the reversal. We've got our 4, 5, and 6. The Four of Shields. The upright meaning is holding on to the past, or one's hoarding resources too much. You got the power struggles here in the terms of the flames. The reversal again is to give freely, stagnant potential taking place. The 5, that looks pretty brutal, the 5 here. The upright meaning is uncertainty, one's lost of faith, looking hopeless, feeling cold, completely forgotten about. The reversal of that one, again, the to ask for help. It's there. We've got our 6 of shields, the upright, perseverance, support, and respect within the community, great accomplishment. The reversal is laziness or mismanagement of things taking place. Our 7 of shield, upright meaning is, celebrating one's achievements, sustainability, gathering your resources. The reversal of that is, you're stuck in a rut, lack of new ideas, or forced into a new task. We've got our 8, 9, and 10. Again, typically normal sort of like meaning. Upright, applying yourself on your talents, learning new skills, encouragement. Reversal is giving up too soon, slacking, being lazy. Um, the rune meaning is, in silence, to focus on a project. Um, 9 of shields. The rune meaning is fearless, um, having stronger power. The upright meaning here is success, deep sense of accomplishment. Reversal is, take it slow, think about others. The Ten of Shield, breaking through difficulties, enjoying one's happiness. The upright meaning is completion, a worthy legacy, abundance. And the reversal, of course, is kind of like the lack of prosperity, an unstable foundation being set out. We've got our court cards, the suits, knights. The upright meaning is the young page is observant. Um, the shield, they're ready to defend their ideals, stillness, paying attention to the key details. The reversal of that will be feeling maybe scattered, lack of action, or one needs to be aware of one's thoughts versus one's fantasy. Our Knight of Shield here, the upright meaning is, taking caution to pause, but also enjoy the journey, build up one's security overall. The reversal is the lack of confidence, strong motivation being rushed into. We have our Queen of Pentacles and our King. The Queen, the upright meaning is self-care as expected, direction for helping others, caretaking, but at the same time, you need to declutter and clean up. You need to look um, to someone you can trust. Our king, pretty much again, similar to Toro, meaning physical needs, reflection on one's action, or, trying not to be too greedy. Here we've got our wands. It's no other different. They call it once as well. And I think for me personally, these are the best looking cards in the entire suits. I don't know what it is about it. I guess it's the flame, the illustration. There's a lot going on in the ones. They look very beautiful, very powerful cards. We've got our Ace of Wands, is harnessing the power of the fire, is, a primal force, a spark of energy. The Ace here is the spark of one's ambition, one's passion taking form and creativity. With the Two of One, we've got planning, experimentation taking place. It's also about building the path to success. um, with the runes there as the indicator, we've got our Three, and our Three is the future successes. You've got the figures there, kind of looking out towards the ships expanding, exploring out. Again, similar to the Toro. With the Four, you got a summer ceremony taking place, um, kind of like in the woods there between the two in individual who looks as though they've fallen in love with each other, and they're kind of like following that path. The Four here again is the celebration, no matter what is going on, to align yourself with your true passion, and that to also remember there's still a lot of work to be done. We've got Five. Five of Wands, very strong card, is representation of the anger that you could see in her face, chaos, confusion going on there. It was the time of Christianity, coming to the putting the end to certain beliefs, practices going on, witchcraft in there going on. Six of Wands, represents victory over a hard fought battle, and you could see it being celebrated there. The Seven of Wands looks pretty amazing, representing standing your ground to defend your convictions, um, making your last stand, protect what you believe in, and that's taking place using the powers, the runes, lightly in there to stand your ground. The Eight of Wands, you got the 8, 9, and 10. They look absolutely amazing. It looks like mages. So what you have in the 8, even 9 and 10 as well, is you have an elder who's kind of taking a break from reading his book, and he's looking at the wands kind of in motion, moving fast. As you know it, the 8 of wands, how things around you is going to pretty much be moving in a fast paced. So again, it has that sort of like similar meaning. So a Nine of Wands, I'll give you the interpretation of the runes for that one. Air, the energy of creation. It also represents the energy that is not fixed and ever changing. Could also represent certain inspiration, so a final last push into a certain direction. The Ten of Wands, we've got the interpretation of the runes means positive creation, man. And the path to perfection, yeah, represents the inner feelings, which is driving one inside, and that's creating the power and the energy that you could see here that's coming out of the wizard. We've got the Page of Wands, Knight of Wands as our court cards. Pretty straightforward here. You know, the Page of Wands is always burning with a youthful energy, up early, with the world spinning. And one thing to note, if you look at the sun, it's as though each of these they each placed at different locations. So you have the sun in one end, reflecting on the other side here with our night. It's beautiful the way the image look as well, with the fire from underneath the horse of the night, and it follows through with our queen and our king of wands. Again, Thor meaning pretty much the same, and you could see the different position of the sun just behind the queen there, but yet for the king it's right centered of on top of his head. And I just love how the energy of um, the will and the fire within each of those characters is highlighted more and more. You could see it's more engulfed with the king versus the queen. It kind of builds up through each of them. I think it's done beautifully well. Look at all of that. It looks absolutely amazing. Um, Going between the page, the knight, queen, and king. We've got our swords again. They're no other different. They're known as the swords. I think it's not too bad. I was kind of expecting it to be more brutal, but it's not bad suits wise. So again, the Toro meaning will be kind of like similar. It may add an additional part. The interpretation rune part of that card will be emit self form of protection. It can also mean protection of from the divine, or it can mean a sudden impulse to draw you to do something. It can have that sort of meaning. Again, similar with the Two of Swords, but it goes further on to show a sign of courage, or forms of obstacle from the outside world preventing you into doing something, to pay attention to one's intuition, to make certain choices, be decisive in decision making. So it kind of like will have that form of interpretation added on top of what you normally will have with the Toro. The Three of Swords would represent the conflict between one's dream and the reality of the situation. Looks very brutal as well, with the Three of Swords, where absolute hopelessness there is what's taking place. Now, one thing I forgot to mention to you guys is each of these suits will kind of like refer to different sort of events or time as to when things took place. Like here, for example, the suits of swords, they are pretty much drawn from the Anglo-Saxons time and era, or even more related to the runes of that time. So you have more introduction of the alphabet, which is more linked to sort of like the old English way of things, and various kind of events and battles that you see here taking place would be during that particular time and era. And it will be the same in terms of the wands, the shield, and the horns as well. Each of it kind of deprive or came from different era of time where each of the alphabet, which is what before the runes would be known as either an alphabet or the divination part of it, would kind of progress or build up, um, kind of transform. More of the alphabetic letters were being added per each era, where the shape of the runes will take its form and meaning. So that's kind of like part of this whole sort of set and everything else as well, just to be noted of. It does cover all of this in the book, by the way. We are, where are we here? We're on the Eight of the Swords. The eight, as usual, the upright meaning, feeling trapped, drawn from reserve power. One needs to use your knowledge. Being restricted, isolated. Reversal is, trying to remove the object in front of you where you're blocked and trying to clear your way a path. The Nine of Swords looks, I don't know, different to me. It looks more of a Ten of a Swords to me rather than the Nine. I guess this is one's horrible nightmare. Viewing how one has died, or the illusion that you may have. And the 10 again, it's the complete opposite. um Death in itself, natural surrounding of what it looks like. Doomed. That pretty much was what the Ten of Swords was indicating there. We've got court cards as you. One thing I forgot to mention to you guys, when it comes to the court cards, they have this elemental attributions associated with each of these cards. For the Page of Swords, we've got an air with it, which is intellectual power, ideals, communication. The earthbound of that element is natural power, roots, origin. Same with the Knights of Sword as well, intellectual power, ideals, communication. But he has the fire, creative power, outer strength, and passion. For our queen and our king, and again, if you look on top, they'll have their various different animals. The queen, intellectual power, same. But she's associated more with the water, spiritual power, inner strength, surging of emotions. You have that. I don't know if it's an eagle. Maybe she has one eagle or hawk. And for the king, you could see he's got two, which is his elemental power is double air. Intellectual power, ideals, communication plans, and laws. So there's so much within the book, which I'm going to show you guys after we go through the flip through. So that's it. So let's check out the flip through. So this is what the book will look like. Very large booklet. When you open it up, everything is in colors. You've got this a path of runes, kind of like a small little meditation for you to do. By all means, do pause so you can have a little read. I've just shown you a small portion of that. That's not what you have in the beginning of the book. So that's just after the table of contents here that you could see. That talks about the deck and the major and minor arcanas, and it illustrates the sort of like suits, and at least a total of 153 pages. That's what you have there in front. So after that, you will have an introduction to the Toro, which is a good 2 pages worth, and it has important key information like you could see here. Different meanings, like the cups here will be illustrated as the horns, shield as the pentacles, wands and so on are pretty much the same. So again, this is a kit, so for anyone who is quite fairly new, let's just say this is your first Toro deck, it gives you plenty of information to get you up and running. But it has a section of introducing you to runes itself, so you get at least 1 full page of that, and then you've got a table that illustrates for you each of the runes itself. So you've got 1 page here, and then at the other side you've got the remaining of them as a quick reference, also the same as you had in front in the box as well that I showed earlier on. Now, I've been using runes for many years. I think I used it well before I actually touched Toro as a form of divination. So I've got plenty of various different ones. So for example, like I've got these ones here, which is one of my favorites. It doesn't come with a booklet, but if you did have this kit and you wanted to kind of like gain a reference as to the meaning of some of these, you can use the book here. So that's just something to note, because not all runes does come with a booklet. Um, so that's good to know. So again, you're using the combination of runes and combining it with the Toro system, and I think that works fairly well. I've done it for many years, so that's pretty good there. We go to the section of highlighting the major arcanas, and these are a few things to make note of the cards. So you've got sort of like 3 different sections. You've got the Toro part, you've got the rune part, and then you've got the gods. That's made up of the overall culture, the Nordic culture there, and represented by each of the section of the major arcanas and the rune's name as well. So you've got that there as a reference, which is pretty good as well to learn from. um Close up here, pause by all means if you wanted to look at it and read further. There you've got the Emperor's Four, so it highlights the connection that it has with the one of the major arcanas and the runes as well. So again, pause and just have a quick look, but at least you know what you're getting, quite a lot of information. If we move on, then we actually get into the card, and I think this is, I don't know, because most of these pages there are quite a lot of blanks, and here it looks absolutely fantastic. You get a full page of exactly what the card will look like. So you have the picture of the fool there, and you get on the right section here the image description. So it's pretty much going to be like that for majority of all of these of the cards. So you've got image description, which kind of highlights key particular points of the image to have a look at in your card, and it's nice to have it there to the book to refer to if you kind of just want to go through the book instead of having the cards out. Second section of that will be the meanings of the card, again following the same trend. So if you have the heaven and earth, what you had in there, how it was broken up, the meaning of each card is fairly similar here. It's exactly the same, to be honest. So what you get is what's in the image. You get a meaning, general meaning of things to pick up of what that card is. You get keywords as well of that card, the upright keywords and the reversal as well. So these you can use as reversal. And then you get the last portion section here. You could see interpreting the runes of that particular deck. So I think it's quite. I think that's quite a lot of information, to be fairly honest, that you're getting there, and that's kind of like repeated for each card. Here we see our next card, full colored image, exactly as you will have on the card itself of the magician, and then you'll have the section of the magician, the description of the image, certain key things to pinpoint out what's happening in the image, which is great. You've got the meanings there, which is, you know, not as much, but with everything else combined, it is a lot. You've got the keywords, upright and reversal, and then depending on the runes that's connected to that, it can be quite fairly lengthy or fairly short. So that follows throughout. Beautiful full color image, 2 pages worth of general meaning for each of the cards, and you could see it goes throughout. So for every single major arcana, you're gonna get those beautiful full image with the kind of like general meaning of the card itself. And again, here now, when we come to the minor arcanas, again, there are certain portion where big pages are wasted. I feel that maybe they could have put something in, but nevertheless, you do get for each suits the aces only, however, a full colored illustration of the image. And then you've got a small sort of like summary of the suits itself. Here it's highlighting the cups will be the horns, and then you'll get a full sort of like image of the ace, and then you'll get 1 page worth of what's in the image that you're looking at, the meaning, keywords, and the runes connection meaning as well. So just to give you guys an idea, again, you can pause and you can kind of read a bit of that. It's quite fairly short, and as expected, you're not going to have what you had in the major arcanas, that depth of information, but I think it's quite relevant, and it's tied in well with the cards as well to give you a general idea of what that card means. And it's same throughout. Here you have the 2 of horns, and then it'll go on 3 and 4 of horns, and as you can see, it doesn't have those fully colored image, and that will be exactly the same as well, unfortunately, for our suit cards as well. So you're not going to see an image of the queen and king, page, and so on. It will only just be the aces. At the very back of the book, you have again using the cards. Again, it has in mind as a newcomer to the Tarot deck system or the rune system. So it kind of like, you know, holds your hand as a beginner and just gives you a starting guide. And you could see there's quite a lot of empty pages. I don't like the parts of the booklet. You got a section that talks about or illustrates to you the different spreads that you can use of the cards and runes themselves, and everything. Got plenty of information there. So highlights to you here. For example, you've got Odin's sight spread. Explain what that means. A force spread as well. Again, you could use the same spreads for your runes as well. There's just so many out there. But again, keeping in mind, runes is very basic. Like we know one basic simple question. Tarot will be more in depth. It will break it down what each section of the spread means, and it just goes pretty much throughout. I'll leave it you know, try and slow down as much as I can, but if you want to read exactly what each spread means, what it's about, then please pause the video. Hopefully you could see everything fully in there. But if you're a new comer, or even if you're an advanced user, no matter what level you're on, to me this is kind of universal for anyone to add part of your collection. And again, at the very end there, it's just giving you an idea of how to get started if this is your first time using a Toro deck of divination. And that's pretty much it. That is the booklet. I think it's a very good booklet. Quite a lot of information in there, enough to help you to get you started. Or if you are a regular user, then, you know, again, it's enough to add additional information. So that was the Runic Tarot. Absolutely love it with the pouch and everything. Great quality. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and watch out for the next one. But yeah, really love this deck. You won't be disappointed if you love the Heaven and Earth, that's for sure. So until next time, take care, love and light.